Welcome back, kids, to our 6th standard Sainik School English crash course by Ma Tutorials. My name is Anmol and I am your guide through this journey on the English language. We are on our 9th lesson today with the next part of speech, prepositions. Prepositions. So we started off with learning about the kinds of sentences, moved on to parts of speech, covered nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, verbs. Now we are moving on to our next part of speech, called prepositions. Today we are covering the definition of preposition and the kinds of preposition. So there are many kinds today. Be ready for a quick pace of the lesson because we have to cover a lot of things. We'll try to cover it in a healthy amount of time, but make sure you're ready with your pens to copy down and you're ready to move along with the chapter quickly because we have a lot to cover today. Alright, let's dig in directly. Prepositions, starting with the definition. A preposition made up of two words, pre and position, is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun. So it is placed before a noun or a pronoun. That is why it is called preposition, before the position of a noun or a pronoun, to show its relation with a verb, adjective or another noun. So prepositions show the relationship between a noun or a pronoun with another verb, adjective or noun or pronoun. Preposition, a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show its relation with a verb, an adjective or another noun. We are going to see some examples of this. You would be able to understand. There are three kinds of prepositions. There are prepositions of direction, those which tell us about the direction, prepositions of place and position, which tell us about the place or position, and prepositions of time that tell us about the time. These are the three kinds of prepositions. Prepositions are words that tell us the relationship between a noun or a pronoun with another verb, adjective or noun. And if they tell us about the direction, then they are prepositions of direction, place or position, prepositions of place or position, or time, prepositions of time. These are the three kinds of prepositions. Let's get into the prepositions of direction. Now we are going to study about 9 prepositions of direction today. To, towards, for, along, against, across, up, down, into. So we've got to, we've got towards, we've got for, we've got along, against, across, up, down and into. Let's look at their uses. You would be able to understand more. How will we use to? Now to indicates destination. The destination, that is the final place that we have to go, that will be indicated with the word to. For example, he is going to the station. He is going to the station. So what is the noun here? The station. It is showing the relation with the verb going. This is the preposition to. And because it indicates the destination, what is the destination? The station, the final destination, the final goal, the final place where we want to go. That is called the destination. Like your destination in life is perhaps to join the military. That is your destination for now in terms of academics and career oriented goals. We go to school every day. We go to school every day. Again, it is telling about the destination. Where is the destination? The school. We go to school every day. Our next preposition of direction, towards. Towards. Now it indicates in the direction of. In the direction of. You are going towards something. If you are moving towards, this is not about the destination. This is about going in the direction of that place. Either we are going towards one side or we are going towards one side. We can either go towards, let's say this is my right, going towards our right, going towards our left, going towards the right, going towards the left. So it indicates in the direction of. For example, he is going towards the station. Towards the station. Maybe he'll go to the station, maybe he'll stop before, maybe he'll go further ahead than the station, but he is moving towards the station. That means in the direction of the station. We are heading towards the school. We are heading towards the school. We are going towards the school. Maybe we'll go to school. Maybe we will not, but we are going towards the school, in the direction of the school. This has got nothing to do with the destination like to had. This has to do with the direction, going towards the school. Then we have our next preposition, for. It is also used to indicate destination in certain cases. Like to was used to indicate destination, For can also be used to indicate destination in certain cases. For example, he is leaving for Delhi tonight. He is leaving for Delhi tonight. The bus will leave for the school in 5 minutes. The bus will leave for the school in 5 minutes. So if I am saying the bus is going, I will say to. The bus is going to the school in 5 minutes. And if I am saying leaving, I will use for. The bus will leave for the school in 5 minutes. He is leaving for Delhi. He is going to Delhi tonight. He is leaving for Delhi tonight. Both of them mean the same thing. They're just being used in different cases. He is going to Delhi. He is leaving for Delhi. Let's move on to our next preposition of direction, along. Now this means from one end to the other. From one end to the other, alongside it, with something. If you are moving from one end to another end of something with it, then we say you are going along that thing. For example, the footpath is along the road. Now the footpath and the road go side by side. The road goes and the footpath goes side beside the road, along with the road. So there the preposition along is used. The footpath is along the road. She is walking along the bank of the river. So she is walking along the river. There's a river on the side, and as the river is flowing, she is walking along the river, by the side of the river, with the river, side of the river. That is called along the river. Along is used, which means from one end to the other. The preposition of direction. Footpath is along the road. She is walking along the bank of the river. Let's move on to our next preposition of direction. Preposition of direction, against. Against. Now this can mean opposite. This can mean many things. This can mean three things. We'll see the three things. First is it can mean opposite. It can mean opposite. For example, it is difficult to swim against the tide. Opposite of the flow of the river. If the river is flowing, now we were saying along the river, against the river, but inside. Along, the previous preposition of direction, along, it wasn't inside the river, it was beside the river, side by side, along with the river. Yeah? Here if we are saying it is difficult to swim against the tide, against means if we are inside the river and the river is flowing in one direction, then it is difficult to swim in the opposite direction. It is very difficult to swim in the opposite direction. You will keep staying at the same place, using your hands, trying to move ahead, but you won't be able to. So it is difficult to swim against the tide. That is the tide. Tide is the flow of the water. Against the tide. Now it can, against can also mean pressing on. It can also mean what? Pressing on. For example, there is a ladder against the wall. Now if I have a ladder and it is resting against a wall, next to a wall, pressing on the wall, then I can also say that the ladder is resting against the wall. There is a ladder against the wall. It just means that the ladder is pressing on the wall and resting there. He is leaning against the tree. Now someone is leaning against the tree. If there is a tree and they're leaning against that tree, and they're pressing on that tree and leaning against it, he is leaning against the tree. So we see against can also be used as to mean pressing on. Then we have in contravention. In contravention means against something. So not in the same way as against. In contravention, when you are going in the, when you are not agreeing to someone. If someone asks you to do something or someone is suggesting you to do something and you ignore that and you do something else, you are going in contravention to them. You are contravening their instructions or their ideologies. So contravention, against the laws. For example, if you do something which is not in the law, then we say that you went against the law. There against is used as a preposition to mean contravention. One must not go against the laws of the country. One must not go against the laws of the country. Matlab means one must not break the laws of the country. One must not break the laws of the country. Against. Not go against the laws. One must not contravene the laws. One must not break the laws. One must obey the laws. One must not go in an opposite direction to the laws. So you see, when we are actually moving physically in the opposite direction, then also we can use against. It is difficult to swim against the tide. When something is leaning on something, pressing on it, then we can also use against. And when someone is doing something which is opposite to what they have asked you to do, when we are contravening something, then also we can use against. It is difficult to swim against the tide. There is a ladder against the wall. He is leaning against the tree. One must not go against the laws of the country. You will be punished if you go against the laws. You will be punished if you go against the laws means you will be punished if you break the laws. So in contravention of something, to break a law, to not follow an order, or to disobey someone. Let's move ahead to the next, across. Now what does across mean? Across can mean on the opposite side of. On the opposite side of. For example, my best friend lives across the street from me. Across the street from me, wherever I am living, my house is there, then there is a street, and on the opposite side of the street, my friend lives. So I can say, my best friend lives across the street from me, on the opposite side of. It can also mean from one side to another. It can also mean from one side to another. A bridge was laid across the river. A bridge was laid from one side of the river to the other. So we can say a bridge was laid across the river. So it can also be used to mean from one side to another. Can mean both sides. It can also mean both sides. He threw his bag across his shoulders. So somebody take their bag and throw it across their shoulders. That means on both sides of their shoulders. So there across means both sides. So we see there could be three meanings of across as well. Let's move on to our next preposition of direction, up. Now up, it indicates direction towards a higher point wherever we are. If we talk about a higher point from that place, we use the preposition up. He climbed up the tree. He climbed up the tree. I like climbing up the rope. I like climbing up the rope. So up is used to talk about the direction towards a higher point. Wherever we are, if we want to talk about a direction towards the higher point, we will use the preposition up. Let's talk about our next preposition of direction, down. Now, like the opposite of up, down indicates direction towards a lower point. Up was indicating a direction towards the higher point. Down is indicating direction towards a lower point. For example, Money climbed down the tree. Money must have climbed up the tree some other time, and now she's climbing down the tree. We walked down the stairs. Now going down the stairs, and if you're climbing up, you will say we walked. Yes, up the stairs. Very good. We walked down the stairs. Down. Let's move on to our last preposition of direction, into. Now, into shows motion or movement inwards. So, first we were going up, then we were going down. Now, if we are going inwards from something, from the surface of something, inside something, we use the preposition into. A dog fell into the well. A dog fell into the well, inside the well. She went into the room. She went into the room. Let's do a quick revision of the prepositions of directions till now. We saw that we are doing definition and kinds of prepositions today. In the definition, we saw preposition is a word that is placed before a noun or a pronoun and tells the relationship of that noun or pronoun with another verb, adjective or noun. Then we saw there were three kinds of prepositions. Prepositions of direction, prepositions of place and position, and preposition of time. We covered prepositions of direction. We saw there were 9 kinds: to, towards, for, along, against, across, up, down, into. Then we saw to tells us destination, towards indicates the direction, for indicates destination in some cases, along means from one end to the other, against can mean 3 things: opposite, pressing on, or in contravention. Everybody say contravention. Across then can mean 3 things: on the opposite side of something, from one side to another, or both sides. Then we had up, which is used to tell the direction towards a higher point. Then we had down, which is used to tell the direction towards a lower point. Then we had into, which is used to show motion or movement inwards. Now let's move on to the prepositions of place and position. We have 13 of these: at, in, on, upon, above and below, over and under, between, among, amongst, amid, amidst, before and after, behind, with, beside versus besides. So above and below together. Why? Because these are opposites of each other, used in a similar way but to tell about different things. Opposites of each other. Over and under are also opposites of each other. That is why they have an and. Among and amongst, they have a slash in between because they are used interchangeably. Both of them mean the same thing. So do amid and amidst. They mean the same thing. And beside versus besides, because why have we put verses here? Because people usually tend to confuse their use. Beside and besides, they're confused. Where would we use beside and where would we use besides? So today, when we come to that slide, make sure you're paying careful attention to understand the usage of each. Let's move ahead. We've got add. Used with the names of small towns and villages. At. Used with the names of small towns and villages. So he lives at Samastipur. They are at home. Used with the names of small towns and villages. He lives at Samastipur. They are at home. So for home also we will use at. These are prepositions of place or position. Next is in. This is used with the names of big cities and countries. You live in Kolkata. We live in India. So with the names of big cities and countries, we will use the word in. Then we have on. This shows rest. Something is resting on something. Shows rest. For example, the books are lying on the table. The books are lying on the table. So the books are resting on the table. They are there. They are positioned there. They are not moving about. The books are lying on the table. There is a cap on his head. The cap is resting on his head. It is there. There is a cap on his head. On. We have our next upon. Shows movement. Now this shows movement. On was for rest. Upon is for movement. The cat sprang upon the rat. The cat sprang upon the rat. So because there is movement here, the cat wasn't resting and it sprang upon the rat at that time. We are using the word upon. I jumped upon the motorbike and rode off. I jumped upon the motorbike and rode off. Upon shows movement. Then we have above and below. Used to indicate the level. The level of something, above and below. Above means which is higher than something else, and below means something which is lower than something else. So like up and down were used as prepositions of direction for higher level and lower level. Above and below are used as prepositions of position or place for a higher level or lower level. Above, below. Used to indicate the level. The aeroplane is flying above the clouds. So the level of the aeroplane is above the clouds. Higher. The level of the aeroplane is higher. It is above the cloud. The work is below my dignity. This work is below my dignity. This work is below my dignity. That means this work doesn't suit me. I shouldn't do it. It will lower my respect. This work is below my dignity. Maybe somebody is asking somebody to take a bribe and they think that it will make them lose their self-respect. So they can say, this work is below my dignity. Dignity is self-respect and respect in general. Then we have over and under. This is used to indicate the vertical position. The vertical position over and under. There is a fan over your head. So vertical position, it is right over your head. It is just, if it is just above, we can use the word over. And under. The cat is sitting under the table. Used to indicate the vertical. Vertical means straight. And the other thing, lying down, it is called horizontal. Horizontal. Vertical and horizontal. Vertical means up and down. Horizontal means right and left. Side by side. There is a fan over your head, right above your head. A cat is sitting under the table, right under the table. So if it is right above or right under, you can Right below, you can use over and under to indicate vertical position. Then we have between. It is used for two persons or things. When we want to say that something is in the middle of two other things, we can say between. For two persons or things. Sunita is sitting between Moti and Meera. Sitting, distribute the sweets between the two children. So when it is just two people, we will use between. Between Moti and Meera. Between Moti and Meera. In the middle of Moti and Meera. Sunita is sitting in the middle of Moti. So Moti, Sunita, Meera. That is how they are sitting. Sunita is sitting in the middle of Moti and Meera. Sunita is sitting between Moti and Meera. Distribute the sweets between the two children. So distribute the sweets between the two children. If there are two children and you have four sweets, distribute them equally amongst the two children. Both of them will get 2 sweets each. Distribute the sweets between the two children. So because we are distributing it between the two children and we are sitting between two people, we are using the word between to tell the position of in the middle. Then we have among or amongst. Now if there are more than two people, then we will use among or amongst. Both of them are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. You can exchange them. They are interchangeable, means you can replace one with another and it will not be a grammatical error because they mean the same thing. The chief minister distributed the blankets among the poor. The chief minister distributed the blankets among the poor. The chief minister distributed the blankets among the poor. So the poor, there are more than two. That is why we are using among the poor, not between the poor. The headmaster distributed the books amongst the students. The headmaster distributed the books amongst the students. So you will see we are using among and amongst. We can interchange. We can use amongst here, among here. Both of them will mean the same thing. The chief minister distributed the blankets among the poor. The poor, there are more than two, so we are using among or amongst and not between. The headmaster distributed the books amongst the students. Again, we are using amongst because students, there are more than two. Otherwise, we would have used between. Amid and amidst. Also used for more than two. So amid and amidst is also used for more than two, just like among and amongst. Raghu is sitting amid his friends. Ranjan is sitting amidst us. Raghu is sitting amid his friends. It is to tell the position that they are actually sitting in between them. But because there are more than two, we will not use between, we will use amid. And amidst are interchangeable with each other. Again, amid and amidst, both of them mean the same thing and both of them can be used. Ranjan is sitting amidst us. Ranjan is sitting amidst us. When we know the exact position, we can use amid and amidst. If we do not know the exact position, we can use among and amongst. Then we have before and after. Now before means in front of and after means chasing from behind. In terms of position, before and after. So before means in front of. If you are standing before someone, Kalpana is sitting before you. Kalpana is sitting before you means Kalpana is sitting in front of you. That is what before means in this sense. He appeared before the judge. He appeared before the judge. That means he appeared in front of the judge. He appeared before the judge. He appeared in front of the judge. The police ran after the thief. After means chasing from behind. The police ran after the thief. The dog chased after the squirrel. The police ran after the thief. The dog chased after the squirrel. That means it ran behind it. So chasing from behind. We can use the preposition after. Before and after. Next we have behind. Behind means at the back of. So we've already used behind in the definition of before and after. When we are running behind, running from behind, chasing someone from the behind. Behind means at the back of. At the back of. She was running behind her brother. She hid herself behind the curtain. She was running behind her brother. She was running after her brother or she was running behind her brother. Both of them are correct. But after usually means that she was trying to catch her brother. behind can also mean that she was merely trying to follow him. So you can run behind someone, you can be running to catch them, or you could be running to follow them, just because they're going somewhere and you have to go there somewhere, go to that same place as well, or maybe they are your leader and they are leading the run. So she was running behind her brother, she hid herself behind the curtain. Behind means at the back of. If you hide behind the curtain, that means the curtain is in front of you and you cannot be seen because the curtain is covering you. So you are hiding behind the curtain. Now we have with. Now how is with used? With is used before an instrument. So if you are talking about an instrument, for example, a pen or a sword, they are instruments. What are instruments? Instruments are any tools that we use to do something. Tools that we use to do something. Those are called instruments. So we use with before an instrument. For example, he is writing with a pen. He is writing with a pen. She fought with a sword. She fought with a sword. So what are the instruments here? A pen is an instrument here, and a sword is an instrument here. Let's move on to our last set of prepositions of place or position, beside versus besides. Now I have put a versus here because both of them can be confused for each other, but we must be very clear where besides should be used and where besides should be used. So we'll see where beside must be used. The meaning of beside is next to. Next to someone. When you're talking about something that is happening next to someone, we're talking about someone who's sitting next to someone or someone who's there next to something. We say beside. Go and sit beside Radha. So go and sit beside Radha. Go and sit next to Radha. And what does besides mean? Besides means in addition to. Besides means in addition to. So when you want to say something more or you want to add something more to something, then you will use the word besides. There were 4 other people there besides me. Besides me, in addition to me, apart from me, there were 4 other people there. That is what besides means. So beside without the S means next to, physically next to, touching someone, physically next to, sit beside Radha. And besides means in addition to, apart from something, there were more things, then we use the word besides. Very good. Let's do a quick recap of the various prepositions of place and position that we saw. We saw there were 13 of them: at, in, on, upon, above and below, over and under, between, among, amongst, amid, amidst, before and after, behind, with, besides, versus, beside. You'll remember I've written above and below, over and under, because before and after, because they were pretty much opposites of each other. They were contrary to each other, used against each other. Among and amongst, amid and amidst, they mean the same. That is why they are distributed and they are divided. They have a slash in between them, a forward slash. And beside versus besides, because both of them mean completely different things but are often confused with each other. Let's move ahead. We had our first at, which is used for names of small towns and villages. Then we had in, which is used for the names of big cities and countries. Then we have on, which shows rest. Then we moved on to upon, which shows movement. Then we said above and below, they are to indicate level. Above is a level higher, below is a level below, level lower. Above and below. Then we had over and under, also to indicate vertical position, but when directly above or directly below. So over and under. Between. For 2 persons or things, when there are 2 things and in between them we're talking about something that is in the midst of them, that is between them, that is situated in the middle, we use the word between. And when do we use among or amongst? They are used interchangeably, both of them mean the same thing when there are more than 2 people or things. So amongst. And then we would amid and amidst, also for more than 2. Then we have before and after, where before means in front of and after means chasing from behind. Before means in front of, he is before me, is running before me. In front of me and after, running behind me, chasing after me, coming from behind. Then we had behind, which means at the back of, front and behind. Then we had with, which is used with an instrument. With a pen, with a sword. Then we had beside and besides. Beside means physically next to, besides means in addition to, apart from something, in addition to. Now we'll move on to our prepositions of time. Our third kind of prepositions. You'll remember we're studying prepositions today. There were 3 kinds. This is the third. At, on, for, since, after and before, in versus within, till, until, by, during, and from. Let's dig right into it and see what each of them means and how they are used. The first one is at. Now, at is used for a point of time. At is used for a point of time. If we want to talk about a point of time, at 6 o'clock, at some time, we use the word at. At dawn, at daybreak. What does dawn mean? When the sun is about to rise. At dawn, at daybreak, the sun is shining. At sunrise, right after dawn. At noon, in the middle of the day. At sunset, when the sun is setting. At night, at midnight. All of these are points of time. We use at. We also use it with time. He came here at 8 o'clock. He came here at 8 o'clock. So whenever you want to say something with time, you use the preposition at. She was reading a novel at 9 a.m. So 8 o'clock, 8 of the clock, it could be in the morning, it could be in the evening. But 9 a.m. we know anti-meridian, it means before noon. So that is 9 a.m. in the morning. We don't have to say that in the morning, 9 a.m. implies in the morning. With time we use the preposition at. Our next preposition on. Now, to indicate a specific day or date. If you want to indicate a specific day and date, then we use the word on. You should come here on Monday. So this is a day, specific day, Monday. So on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He was born on 22nd October and along with dates as well. We can also say he was born on the 22nd of October. That is a formal way of saying it. He was born on 22nd October. So on and used for dates and days. Then we move on to for. Now for refers to a period of time, not just a point of time. Now it's talking about a period of time, for some length of time. He has lived here for a month. So a month is a period of time. It's an elongated period of time, not just a point of time. So for a month. They have been working in this office for 2 years. They have been working in this office for 2 years. For is used for a period of time. 2 years is a period of time, an elongated, stretched period of time, continuation. Therefore, we use the word for. Refers to a period of time. Then we have since. Now, this refers to a point of time in the past. A point of time in the past. A point of time in the past. He has been absent since Monday. So this should be has been absent since May. He has been absent since May. He has been absent since May. So let's say if he has been absent since May last and it is January now, how many months has it been? 8. So he has been absent since May, but he has been absent for 8 months. So for a period of time, since a point of time. Now May is a point of time in the past. He has been absent since May, but he has been absent for 8 months. 8 months is a period of time. May is a point of time. He has been absent since May. He has been living in America since 1990. Now it's 2024. So he has been living for how many years? He's been living for 34 years in America. For 34 years since 1990. Since a point of time for a period of time. So since refers to a point of time in the past. Now we have after and before. Now refers to the order or position of a period of time. What does it refer to? It refers to the order or position. What is the order or what is the position of what? Of a period or point of time. Of any period or point of time. We are talking about any period or point of time and its position to another event or point of time. So its position with respect to another period or point of time or another event, we use after or before. If something comes after or something came before something. He will marry Sangeeta after Vasant Panchami. So what is the first instance that we are talking about? His instance of marrying Sangeeta. And when will this come? This will come after Vasant Panchami. This is another instance or event, point of time, and we are talking about the position of them. The after tells us about the position. What will come first? Vasant Panchami will come first and then he will marry Sangeeta. So, he will marry Sangeeta after Vasant Panchami. After Vasant Panchami. Vasant Panchami is done, over. Then after Vasant Panchami, he will marry Sangeeta. Let's see what before means here. I shall finish this work before 6 o'clock. So, before 6 o'clock means 6 o'clock. And before 6 o'clock, I shall finish this work. I am saying that I will finish this work before 6 o'clock. As soon as it is 6, my work will have been finished before that. You should leave London after your result. So once you have your result in hand, then you should leave for London. You should leave London after your result. Wait for your result. Take your result, then leave for London. You should leave for London after your, you should leave London after your result. Take off your shoes before you enter. Now if you are entering someone's house or you are entering a temple or any religious place or any such place which requires you to take your shoes off, this is what they will say. They will say take your shoes off or take off your shoes before you enter. So your entering is one event, taking your shoes off another event. It should come before entering. Note. After can also be used to talk about following someone. The police ran after the thief. We saw that already when we covered after and before. We just to remind this. In versus within. Now in and within. In and within also I have put verses in between them because people are confused where which should be used. Let's clarify it today. Now in shows end of a period of time. End of a period of time. If I'm talking about in 1 month, that means after 1 month is over, then that time. That is the end of the period of time I'm talking about. And within shows period before the end of a period of time. And within means that within 1 month, that before 1 month is over, then it will happen. So within 1 month, it means before the month is over. In 1 month, that as soon as 1 month is over, then something will happen. She will inform you in a month. That means when the month is over, then she will inform you. She will inform you in a month. When the month is over, then she will inform you. We will manage everything within a year. Before the year is over, we will manage everything within a year. Within a year, in a year. In a year means it will take 1 year and then after that it will happen. Within a year means it will not take 1 year. It will happen before that. In versus within. Within. Till and until. Both of them mean the same thing. That is why they are separated by a forward slash here. It's till or until. Both of them could be used. Point of time. Used for a point of time. So you are to stay in bed till or until Monday next. So maybe somebody has gotten sick or somebody has gotten hurt and the doctor is instructing them bed rest. They are asking them to stay in bed till until Monday next. That means next Monday. Whichever Monday comes next, till that Monday. You are to stay in bed till or until or till Monday next. They will wait for you until till Monday next. They will wait for you until till Monday next. They will wait for you till Monday next. After that, they will stop waiting for you. You can stay in bed till Monday next. After that, you can stop taking rest and you can move around if you want to. Till, until. Used for a point of time. In the future. By means not later than. Now by means not later than. It shouldn't be later than that. For example, by Sunday, I had been exhausted. By Sunday, I had been exhausted. So I had been working maybe for a long time. All the week, all through the week I was working. And then I'm saying that but by Sunday, I had been exhausted. So by Sunday, not later than Sunday. Sunday had not passed. By Sunday, a Sunday came, I was exhausted. John will have reached America by Tuesday. So by the time Tuesday comes, John will have reached America. John will have reached America by Tuesday, not later than Tuesday. It wouldn't go past Tuesday. As soon as Tuesday comes, John will have reached America. John will have reached America by Tuesday. By means not later than. Not later than. Our next preposition is during. Now, during is used to indicate through the course or duration of a period of time. Through the course or a duration of a period of time. That means if something is happening over a period of time, then throughout that period of time, if we want to talk about something, then we will say during. During means it was happening throughout that period of time. For example, during the war, many people suffered hardship. Suffered means that they were very troubled with it. Something bad is happening, then you are suffering. If something bad is happening to you and you're not liking it, that is called suffering. So many people suffered hardship. Hardship means difficult things, difficulties in life, hardships during the war, when the war was going on, all throughout the war, throughout the time of the war, through the course or duration of the war, throughout the time period of the war, during the war, many people suffered hardship. What will you do during the summer vacation? What will you do during the summer vacation? So I'm asking you a question now. When your summer vacation start, throughout the summer vacation, during the summer vacation, what will you do? What will you do during the summer vacation? During, used to indicate through the course or duration of a period of time. And for our last preposition for today, from, used for a period of time in the past or future tense. Now it is used for a point of time. Used for a point of time, apologies, excuse me. Used for a point of time in the past or future tense. It is used for a point of time in the past or the future tense. For example, my friends lived with me from September till November. So I'm talking about last September, from September, October, November, 3 months, they lived with me. My friends lived with me from September till November. So you will see it is used with another preposition till, from September till November, from September. So it started at September, from September. He will start coming here from next month. So this is about the future now. He will start coming here from next month. From next month, at the starting of the next month. From next month, he will start coming. That is when it will start. So used for a point of time in the past or future to tell the start of an event. From something till something. Now he will start coming here from next month and he will continue coming till whenever he pleases. Or till whenever the agreement between him and the people that he is going to is. He will start coming here from next month. My friends lived with me from September till November. So from, used for a point of time in the past or future tense and tells about the starting of an event. Let's do a quick recap. We started with prepositions, studying the definitions and kinds. We saw prepositions, pre plus position. That is what the word is made of. Is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun and shows the relation of the noun or pronoun with a verb, adjective or another noun. So it shows the relationship of a noun with a verb, adjective or another noun. We saw there were 3 kinds of prepositions. Prepositions of direction, prepositions of place and position, and prepositions of time. We started with prepositions of direction. We saw there were 9. 2 towards, for, along, against, across, up, down, into. 2 indicates destination, going to the station. Towards indicates direction, towards the station. For indicates destination in certain cases, leaving for Delhi, like going to, leaving for. Along, from one end to the other, walking along the bank of the river, at the side of the bank of river, with the river, along the bank of the river. Against can mean 3 things. It can mean opposite. Difficult to swim against the tide, difficult to swim against the river. Can mean pressing on, ladder against the wall or leaning against a tree. Or can mean in contravention, must not go against the laws, should not go against the laws. Then we had across. Across also had 3 meanings. On the opposite side of, like my friend lives across the street from me, can mean from one side to the other. A bridge was laid across the river, from one side of the river to the other. Across the river, one side to the other. Can mean both sides. He threw his bag across his shoulder. So he threw his bag across his shoulder on both sides. Then we have up. indicates direction towards a higher point, climbing up a tree, climbing up a rope. Down, direction towards a lower point, climbing down the tree or down the stairs. Then we have into, motion, movement inwards, fell into the well. She went into the room, motion, movement inwards. Prepositions of place and position. Then we had prepositions of place and positions. There were 13: at, in, on, upon, above and below, over and under, between, among, amongst, amid, amidst, before and after, behind, with, beside versus besides. Remember, and we have put where both of them are opposite in meaning. Slashes we've put where both of them are interchangeable. Versus we've put when both of them can be confused in their use. At, used with the names of small towns and villages. In, with the names of big cities and countries. On, it shows rest. Upon, shows movement. Above and below to indicate the level. Above, higher level, below, lower level. Over and under to indicate vertical position of directly above and directly below, over and under. Between, when we're talking about two things and we're talking about the middle of two things, between. And when we're talking about the middle of more than two things, we can use among, amongst. And we can also use amid, amidst. Before and after. Before means in front of, after means chasing from behind. So Kalpana is sitting before you, in front of you. The police ran after the thief. The police was chasing the thief from behind. And what does behind mean? It means at the back of something. Behind and front. With, before an instrument. It is used with an instrument, with a pen, with a sword, etc. Beside versus besides. Beside means physically next to. Besides means in addition to. That apart from something, there is something more. Then we have prepositions of time. At, on, for, since. After and before. In versus within. Till, until. By, during, from. Remember again. And, because both of these are opposite in meaning. Slashes, because both of them are interchangeable, same in the meaning. Versus, because both of them can be confused in their usage. At, used for a point of time. At dawn, at daybreak, at sunrise, and also for time. I will do something at 6 o'clock. On. It is used to indicate a specific day or date. It is used to indicate a specific day or date on Monday, on 22nd October. For is for a period of time, for a month, for 2 years. Since is a point of time in the past. Since May, since 1990. After and before. They are used as order or position of a period or time, period of time, or a point of time with respect to another period of time or point of time. So for example, he will marry Sangeeta after Vasant Panchami. That him marrying Sangeeta, that event will come after another event which is called Vasant Panchami. So Vasant Panchami will come first and then he will marry Sita. Or I shall finish this work before 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock will happen, but before that I will have finished my work. I will have finished my work first and then 6 o'clock will happen. Then the time will be 6 o'clock. And note, it can also be used as the direction we used in the preposition of distance, you will see. Before and after in prepositions of place and position as well. So we're just revising that here in preposition of time as well with after and before. That the police ran after the thief. So they were chasing the thief from behind. Then we have in versus within. In shows the end of a period of time. In a month, that means the month will get over and then something will happen. Within shows the period before the end of a period of time. So within a month, that means before the month is over, the thing will happen. In a month, within a year. Then we had till, until. Both of them are interchangeable, used for a point of time. A point of time in the future. You have to stay in bed till Monday. They will wait for you till Monday next. Monday next means whichever Monday comes next. Then we have by, not later than. That will happen before that. It will not be later than that. By Sunday, I had been exhausted. By Sunday, by the time Sunday came, I was exhausted. I had worked so hard during the week. John will have reached America by Tuesday. And before Tuesday comes, John will have reached America. Then we have during to indicate through the course or duration of a period of time, whenever something is happening. Then if we want to talk about the entire period of time and we want to talk about something that was happening through the entire period of time, there is a time we will use the word during. During the war, many people suffered hardship. What will you do during the summer vacation? And then we have from, our last preposition, used for a point of time in the past or future tense. So from is used for a point of time in the past or future tense from where the event starts, at the starting of the event. So my friends lived with me from September till November. It is often followed with another preposition till, which tells about the end of the event. He will start coming here from next month till whenever so he pleases. Alright, so that is that with prepositions. I hope you're revising all your chapters and going through the worksheets. Make sure you are revising and rigorously practicing all of the things that you're learning right now and going through the lessons again and again to understand each and every small bit of information that is being given to you. Thank you for joining the class today, and I will see you in the next one.